I'm Kevin Adair, and welcome to El Fuego del Sol GeoTourism Eco-Village in the Dominican Republic. Looking around the neighborhood near our project site, it's obvious that concrete block is the construction material of choice. It's used throughout the country. Here's a new development of high-end villas built from block and protected by a fence made from block. The structure of the buildings is poured reinforced concrete pillars and corners. So adding concrete block to fill in the sides, back, and interior walls is wasteful, heavy construction. Here's a new retail building where the process is visible. The large, open interior shopping spaces are complete and safely supported by steel beams along with poured reinforced concrete pillars and corners. So why are they filling in the outer walls with heavy, unnecessary concrete block? There must be an alternative. Welcome to the El Fuego del Sol Found Objects Workshop. We're here in the Dominican Republic, and we're looking to solve the problems of the world with just items that you might have around. Right now, we're looking to replace concrete block. Making concrete takes a lot of energy and makes a lot of pollution. So we're thinking that maybe we could replace concrete block with bottles. Our first attempts were wiring these bottles together, as we've seen other people do on the internet. But we came into a number of problems. One, it's very difficult and time-consuming to wire them all together, and then when you're done, you can end up with the tops being closer together than the bottoms, and then they won't stack properly. You can't use this instead of concrete block. Even though they're strong, it's just not symmetrical. It's not going to happen. So instead, we came up with the idea of why not use items that we have even more ubiquitous, even more all around. Everywhere in Latin America, people drink water out of these little bags. And so, if we can use this durable vinyl to connect these bottles together, now we're making things that we can use forever out of items that are thrown away, discarded, wasted, and sometimes burned, creating terrible pollution. So there's two kinds of bottles available very easily here in the Dominican Republic. This kind, which is made by the Coca-Cola Company, and has the same type of bottle as this. These are all compatible and have the same diameter. And this kind, which they use for Red Rock, they use for Pepsi, they even use for this cola that they have here called Cola Real. So, the idea is we'll use these bottles together to have a consistent height to our construction block, which is what we'll have when we're done. And we'll use these bottles together to come up with that. Now, I've come up with a design. And the way I did that was I measured the bottles and put them together like this. And I'm actually going to use this vinyl to hold the bottles together and then fold it back on itself to create even more durability, as you'll see as we go along. Now I made a template. Again, all of this is just out of found objects. This was an old hanger. These are crate wood that I just found lying around. So what we'll do is we'll take this to start off with and we'll cut it open. These are my professional fingernail clippers, and the object was to be able to do something very quickly and have consistent results every time. So this is how long it takes to prepare one of these bags to be used to connect these bottles together and to create an alternative to concrete block. Now eventually I'm actually going to be building a pool, or fixing a pool, using these techniques. You can come back and see a different video on that. And what we'll use to connect our blocks together is what we use now, which is concrete. But imagine how much concrete will be displaced by using this type of object instead of concrete block as our basic building element. I grew up playing with Legos, so now I'm trying to build, in this case, a pool wall, but eventually maybe buildings out of plastic, just like I was building with Legos as a kid. Alright, let's see what we can do. Well, first of all, we'll take this and we'll put it on our template, just like that. And I've even crafted a utility knife out of a clip from The Office, and the actual case that the videotape that you have came in. I like using mini DV, it's got a really good quality. And so, the only thing I purchased for this entire project is this razor blade, and I paid 5 pesos for that. That's like 15 cents. Okay, so I've got this template here. All I do is make X's, and we could even do this template in a fast motion assembly line. 1x there, 1x there, 1x there, and our final x here. Again, I'm just following the template that I laid down on the wood using a marker. Now, I also have circles for my templates, which I can cut out for you here. As I'm cutting these circles out, you'll see that I'm having a little bit of a difficult time cutting circles with a straight razor blade. And it's a little bit dangerous too. So kids, don't try this without adult supervision. But I came up with a better way to do this on a larger scale, which I'll show you in the next segment. But for now, that's how long it takes. We've got X's to create holes for the bottle caps, and we've got these circles to create holes for the base of the bottles. And that'll allow us to make the bottles in alternating order. So let's try it. We take a bottle, in this case it's the Coke brand variety. Put it right over there. And it's connected. Same thing. Oh look, I actually have one started here. So we'll combine these two systems together and make a complete block for you. Again, I've got an X down here for this one. This goes through here. This goes through here. This goes through here. Now for added durability, I fold these back on themselves. These flaps here will actually allow the blocks to connect to the one next to it. The same thing over here. The two central pillars are locked in twice. That has amazing durability. Here's a faster way to make the larger openings. I attached a small coconut to a soup can. Now I use the heated can to sear holes into the plastic. If we are making hundreds of these connectors per day, this is a much faster process than cutting out the circles. Either size of bottle squeezes through just like that. Now with the durability that we've created here, it's ultra lightweight, and if we're building on a second story, we could just use that. Closing the containers tight will allow this to displace 20 ounces each, so that's a total of 80 ounces of concrete that we won't need to use in place of a block. Very durable, strong resiliency, probably way better in an earthquake than an A block could be, and much lighter, requiring overall in the entire building less concrete to make it strong. Now, I'm going to be building a pool, so I'm going to need even more durable concrete replacement than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking this exact design, but I put water in the bottles. Now with water in the bottles, we could use this as the first level, creating really strong building blocks which don't compress no matter what you do. And so we'll take one of those, and I've got this one put together with the other bottles, the other variety of bottles. Those can fit right on top of here, like that. And we can even reinforce it with rebar. Stick a rebar right down the center. We'll encase this all in concrete, like you would if you were working with actual concrete blocks. But the result will be much less expensive, much more durable, and reusing what would be discarded materials. That's the deal. Here's one more building example. The structure is poured concrete corners and pillars. But here, since the first floor is used for parking and retail, they have left out the concrete block which usually fills in the walls. Clearly the building doesn't need any blocks in the outer walls, yet all of the walls on the upper floors are filled in with concrete block. Using our block replacements would lighten the load supported over the lower stories, increasing safety and reducing costs dramatically. Thanks for joining us at El Fuego del Sol GeoTourism Eco Village in the Dominican Republic. I'm Kevin Adair.